I think we should go through this and do a fish movie rankings.
Gyo, Dagon, Padak. Oh, and they're all foreign, too.
All the mermaid sagas.
Yeah, yeah.
This podcast is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Spoiler warning for whatever is in the title of this episode.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/thehorrorofbabylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible and all other major podcast apps.
Welcome to a very fishy bonus episode of the Horror of the Babylon.
No, Horror of the Babylon.
You know, that podcast where they review a bunch of Boost Gumps books.
The Boost Gumps.
I love Boost Gumps books by L.R. Stein. All right. So we're talking about Padak, and I am Ryan, and with me as always is Daniel. Say hi, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Hello, Master Flatfish. Who's totally a Pokemon. All right, and you know who else had? I gotta catch them all. Our patrons. Thank you to Abigail the fish, breaker of tanks and mother of tuna, and Logan,
And the full fishy patron.
the full metal king crab. And Ben, the fourth patron of hope, which there's no
hope.
He's the patron of nothing.
Yeah, there's no hope
Patron
here.
of nothing. And Mia the fifth, the
Sushi maker?
I was trying to make a REIGN, like the North Korean rainmaker. She makes horrible dictatorships. She doesn't. I don't know. This is like we've kind of accidentally recorded like 8 things tonight. So, all right, and thank you to Horsemen Comics and Gaming, which you can visit at the Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia, the Mall at Robinson in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You can shop online at fourhorsemen.tcgplayerpro.com. And I wish that I could have watched this movie with Ronald III, Krampus of Christmas, because he does not like fish, he does not like seafood. This whole thing probably would have grossed him out to no end. I would just love to see the part where they're like eating the fish with the fish like still flapping on the plate. That would have been great.
Have you, I guess we'll get into it when we're going.
Okay. Trigger warning, fish.
Being eaten alive.
Yeah. Yes. Our history of Padak. Daniel told me to go in blind. I Googled it just to grab a poster for it for the thumbnail, and I saw horror musical. So those are the only 2 words I knew going in. This was my first time seeing it.
I wish I could have gone in blind. I follow a lot of I always feel like my stories start with I follow
this YouTube channel and they did a video about it.
Basically, I follow a lot of they review animated movies, and they covered this movie. And then after that, this must have been a couple years ago, my Facebook algorithm became so fucked up just from watching those 2 movies that all of my recommended videos were people live butchering sushi and preparing these exact sushi dishes or sashimi or whatever you call them. So I kept saying, like, I'd be scrolling through Facebook and they'd just be like running a wire through a fish's head and it would be like jerking around. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm going to be scrolling through my Facebook and a coworker is going to come behind me and think I'm a complete psychopath. Which is true, but it's not because of this.
Or maybe you just like seafood.
But then I became addicted to watching them.
Yeah.
And I think Facebook finally banned a lot of them.
Yeah.
For a while, the first time I saw it, I'm like, oh my god.
There's definitely like an animal rights discussion to be had there.
And it's not even like they would chop the fish's head off, because they would like whack the fish's head to stun it, then start running wires through it, because I guess when a fish dies, it releases certain hormones that change the taste. So I had to look up why they do it.
Yeah, no, they eat them, not in every dish, but they eat a lot of them alive.
So they run this wire through its spine so it won't release those hormones. And I'm like, oh my god. And I'm sitting there watching this, and then some of them are being, like, their guts are being taken out before they're even whacked with it. And I'm like, oh my god. And then I watched this movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that is a discussion you can have with this movie, and I'm not going to say it's right or wrong, but...
And I think it's the discussion the movie wants you to have.
Yeah.
The vampire's a pure myth, superstition.
I may be able to bring you proof that the superstition of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
Well, let's jump into background. So, Wikipedia describes this movie as an adult computer animated musical survival horror drama film.
Oh my god. I guess not completely inaccurate.
Each of those things is in this movie somewhere. It was written and directed by, and I'm sorry, I'm probably going to say this wrong, Dae-Hee Lee, I think.
I am going to start calling my brother's wife when we cover something Korean, because this keeps coming up.
Is this the first Korean piece of media we've covered?
I think I might have brought it up when we were talking about the Ring movies, because there's a Korean Ring movie that we didn't cover.
Yeah, but we didn't do anything. I think this is the first one that we've actually, like, reviewed.
Yeah.
It premiered in 2012 at a film festival in Korea that I'm not going to try to pronounce. So I read through, like, the production stuff on the wiki. There's not a lot of information on this movie. For those of you who've seen it, you know why. But the director originally wanted the film to be a 2D hand-drawn animated movie. He wanted to do it in 2D because he thought he wouldn't be able to get the facial features on the fish right in 3D, but the 2D animated film would take too long, i.e. it would cost too much money.
Yeah.
So they ended up going with the 3D animation to get quote-unquote desired results.
And then you still got some of those nice little 2D segments with the songs.
Yeah.
And that's that. Another story in the classic, infallible 3-act structure. Good enough for Aristotle, good enough for The Simpsons.
Mr. Sislak, I have a feeling there's going to be one more act to this story.
Well, I'm not hanging around for that. 4 acts.
Alright, so structure and themes. What the fuck?
I would say that one of the themes is basically just brutality.
Yeah.
Eat or be eaten. Because this is something that I kind of wanted to talk about after finally getting to watch the movie in its entirety. Is, yeah, they're discussing how fucked up it is that the fish are being eaten alive.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also what fish do to each other. That's just what nature is.
Yeah.
And,
they do it to each other in the movie.
Yeah. And the movie doesn't shy away from that, so it's like... So I'm like, at first you're getting, like, these sort of animal rights feeling themes, but then you're sort of just getting this very bleak, this is just the way it is always gonna be themes. And survival is probably the biggest theme I would attribute to this movie, and it's just trying to survive in a brutal world as much as possible.
I kind of took it to be a psychological horror, and, like, the horror is in, like, trying to relate yourself to the fish and the situation that...
And that also definitely is something they want you to feel.
Which I struggled to put myself in the fish's spot.
You like fish too much.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this movie made me hungry. My biggest reaction to this was, I want sushi. But I'm an empathetic person. Usually whenever I consume a piece of media, I don't have too much trouble putting myself in the main character's shoes. Mm-hmm. But I really struggled with this. I don't know that I have like this big deep reason why that is, except for maybe it's just because they were stupid fish.
That's sort of funny to me, because one of the reasons I thought about having us do this movie is we both share that fear of being eaten alive.
I do, like, something like Attack on Titan. Like, the first time I watched those, like, first 2 to 3 episodes, I was scared.
And then I thought about, like, well, what if we were, like, pinned down and something was just, like, had us cut open? We were already technically dead, but our brains were still working as people were, like, taking chopsticks and...
On paper, that is terrifying.
Yeah, it didn't click for you.
No, I didn't find it scary in the movie at all. I guess we can kind of table that till scary shit. Anything else, like, what did you think about the songs? Like,
I'm not a big fan of random songs. I like some of the, like, the first song where she's singing about, like, her friend being killed, and it's showing, like, all those giants, like, chopping the thing. I like the imagery. I almost even feel like the imagery would work fine by themselves as shorts. But in the movie itself, I was a little distracted by them. I'm
not super familiar with Korean media. Mostly, like, I have read some amount of manhwa, and I've never, like, sat down and watched Korean dramas, but Emma watches them all the time, so I invariably get, like, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. So, I don't know if it's, like, a thing, like in Bollywood movies, like...
where they add, like, songs and dances.
Yeah, and that's just, like, a cultural thing. So I don't know if the songs in this movie are kind of a cultural thing that are done in Korean movies, but it seemed really strange and out of place to me.
I have a theory, and I'll try to keep it brief. It's almost like they were trying to invoke Disney movies, where they have the songs, but at the same time, you're like, I feel like adding songs in here for the kids for this movie.
Yeah.
I don't picture watching this with my 5-year-old, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The songs in this movie also felt very separate from the story. Like, they all, like, tied in and were about something. But, like, in a Disney movie...
you kind of flow right into the song.
Yeah, and all the characters are singing almost it together.
It's like a cutaway.
Yeah, exactly. Like...
but that's what I think they were going for, but at the same time I question that decision based off of who I think this movie is for, which would either be people slightly older or psychopaths.
I mean, there is some logic to that, because a lot of Disney movies are about personified animals.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like the dark version of that.
And when this was first brought over to America, a lot of, like, the posters and stuff looked like Finding Nemo knockoff posters.
Yeah, like the one with the fish jumping out.
Yeah,
I'm a happy Korean fish.
So it's like, oh, like the Nemo escaping from the aquarium.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be free.
Yeah, it's invoking that stuff. But like the other posters that I found is like Padak around all the other farm fish that are all like dead-eyed.
Yeah, and
I'm like, that's much more representative of what this movie actually is.
Can you imagine, like, somebody with, like, some real talent doing, like, a short version of this movie, like maybe like a 5 to 10 minute short film, just like getting the main points of this movie, but using like Dory and Marlin and Nemo instead? Like, that would be horrifying.
I'm going to find the person who did the Zootopia abortion comic and commission them to do this.
Oh, I don't think I could watch it.
I'll be like, hey, here's I don't know how many thousands of dollars.
Hey, Ellen DeGeneres, I will donate $1 million to save the children if you voice Dory in this fan film. That's horrible.
We'll just use AI.
Okay.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Let's go to characters, and this is so we have our main character, Padak, Flappy.
Yeah.
I loved when it died. I hated this stupid fish. And my favorite part is when it dies. I laughed out loud. I was like, take that, you stupid fish.
Maybe you're also a psychopath.
Guess what my second favorite part was?
When
the other one died, the bream died. It's like I'm gonna go to the crab tank and I'm gonna talk to the crabs and get them to break the glass. I'm like, but you don't speak crab. The other fish at least spoke crab. And guess what? It goes and it gets killed by the crabs.
And then they start eating them.
Yeah, I was like, this is hilarious. Die, you stupid fish, die.
We should have done a live reaction to this.
I was pissed off and angry the majority of the movie, so I was just look at these stupid fish dying, and then the poor little clownfish that are pets, like Padak gets thrown in the tank with the little clownfish, and they're like, "You're a food fish. You're not supposed to be in here with us." And then Padak just goes like savage and starts eating them
because she's been refusing to eat other fish the whole time.
Yeah, she loses her effing mind and goes like, it's like Goku on the full moon. It's like, and then Joseph Stalin, the flatfish.
I love this dude.
He's like, this is my worldview. Don't mess with my worldview.
Again, probably because I just have consumed too much media. You know what this like entire like dynamic reminded me of? Was a prison movie. He's like the top G in the prison, and all of them are like there's their little hierarchy as a second in command.
The eel.
And then at first, like the little clownfish, or not clownfish,
the bream.
The bream is like the prison. Like they even bite his tail, and I'm like, oh, he's being used as the prison bitch.
He's the prison bitch until
because he's the youngest and prettiest one.
Yeah.
And then they get a new one, and they try to eat her tail.
And she fights back.
Yeah.
She's like, fuck that. I'm not going to be your prison bitch.
And she has an escape plan, and then, Shawshank Redemption-y, Morgan Freeman gets away at the end. Well, he gets released, but...
This film doesn't really have a villain, but Flatfish is like... I know you could make an argument that Flatfish is the villain. You could make an argument that the people are villains. You can make an argument that there is no villain.
I would just say that if I had to like attribute anything deeper to this movie, it's just that life is really brutal.
Yeah.
And maybe we shouldn't be killing fish this way, but fish do eat each other alive.
Yeah.
So.
But there's definitely a way to watch this movie as Flatfish as being the villain, and he's the one that survives.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Pokemon is Stunfisk. This is what I was picturing the entire movie.
Have you ever eaten flatfish?
No.
I kind of want to go to... I couldn't eat one that was still, like, breathing and flopping around.
I love seafood.
I was going to send you videos of that, but I decided against it.
There are... Like,
they're still on YouTube.
I'm a meat eater. I eat meat, but I do have lines like veal. I do not eat veal, and I probably would not eat a live fish.
But I want to try flatfish now.
No, I do. I've never seen it offered anywhere over here.
I didn't hate eel when I had it.
I love eel.
We'll just have to do a sushi day.
Yeah.
We didn't get to go to Florida this year. We're going to go have sushi.
We haven't gone on a trip this year.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll do maybe sushi in Salem's Lot.
We'll do last night we were talking about King of the Hill at work, and we talked about the last meal episode.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my friends was like, well, Daniel, would you eat your last meal if you could have it? And I was like, I have. Well, I've had the best equivalent to it I could get, because my last meal would be a McRib, large fries, and a Shamrock Shake. Because I can never have them at the same time.
Yeah.
So what I did one year is I got myself a couple McRibs, large fry, and I made the best Shamrock Shake that I possibly could.
I wonder if you could freeze a McRib.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, he's like, you didn't have like any superstitions? I'm like, no, it's just food. I'm not in prison.
Yeah.
kill you all. I'll drive you crazy and I'll kill you all. I'm every nightmare you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
All right, scary shit. Was this movie scary?
I'm scared of the idea of being eaten alive.
But how it was presented, and this movie was tense, or at least I think it's definitely supposed to be tense. It didn't stress me out. It didn't feel tense to me, but I could definitely see where other people will watch this and be like, "Oh, dude, that movie is so tense." But I just had trouble taking it seriously.
I remember the first reviewer I watched that did it. When he's like, all right, last chance for spoilers, and then he continues, and then Padak just fucking dies.
That's the best part.
And that seems to be not that it's the best part, the consensus that like almost no one ever expects the main character to just be like murked right at the end.
Yeah, and it's not even like a dramatic death. She's a fish.
She's a fish, and they're at a restaurant, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
I do like that the reason Flatfish got away was because of the little knife or sword that was stuck in Padak.
I was pissed. That's my Koontz. I was so mad. Stupid Flatfish. I wanted, like, the human steps on it, like, you are a stupid fish. You can't get away. Yeah, I wanted the humans, the ones like, no, I wanted Flatfish to get eaten. Stupid fish.
Oh my God, are you Stephen King? No, I'm Dean Koontz. Oh.
Hiya! Happy Easter!
So Kings and Koontz, that's my Koontz. What's your Koontz? Let's go backwards.
My Koontz, probably the songs.
Yeah.
I like the animation in them. I like some of the imagery in them, but they feel kind of out of place to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they would work. Not that there's like a giant Padak fandom, but like if they were like fan creations for it, or if they were like shorts. Like I think they even work decent by themselves in a vacuum, but they don't flow as well as like we said a Disney song.
I think this movie could have gotten its point across as like a 30-40 minute movie.
I also that would be my backup. I'd be like, cut the songs, make it shorter,
and even just like they go over a lot of the same thing again and again. Like,
and you really only need to hit a nice short film. I mean, it's honestly not overly long.
No, it's like 70 minutes. It's not. Yeah. It's not long, but it could have been much shorter, and I would have been less annoyed with it. Yeah. For King, like I generally laughed out loud when the bream jumped into the crab tank, and then when Padak died, I
my
laughed.
King is that Padak dies.
Yeah, it's so funny. Mine
isn't because it's funny, but I think it just gets everything about the film across. It's like, yeah, you're gonna die.
Well, I was mad the whole movie because it's like, this is stupid. And then Padak dies, and it's like, ha, I hate your movie, and you died, ha.
We really should do sushi. Sushi in Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
And then we could be mad at Salem's Lot.
Sushi's Lot.
Even though that trailer was amazing.
We could even like stream us watching it. As long as the stream doesn't pick up the audio on it.
Yeah.
We could stream us watching it and then do like and eating sushi and then do like a live like episode. You can watch Salem's Lot with us. We're watching it now. Hit play, and I don't know. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Okay. All right. Rankings. Your list. I'm just typing it in. Who actually do I have first? No, I have you first. So go ahead.
Well, we're gonna have to go down.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty low on mine.
Down. Okay, freeze for just a second.
Is it better than the Virgin Suicides?
No.
Is it better than?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go down.
Keenan and Kel Two Heads are better than.
I think I liked it more than
the Gyo movie. Okay, there's actually the other fish one we did. Is it better than Gyo?
No, because I get that weird sex scene in the Gyo movie.
That's what you say every time. Is it better than Prometheus?
Yes.
hate you. Is it better than Valerian?
No.
Okay.
But I'm biased about Valerian. But is it... I really need to rewatch House.
House. Is it better than Alien Covenant?
Yeah, I'm going to put it right below House.
So it's your new number 95, below House and above Alien Covenant.
My pants are ready. Is it worse than Lolita?
Not Lolita 97. I would rather watch Lolita 1962 again over this movie.
You just can't have Jeremy Irons actually kissing a teenager in front of you again.
No, that was The Retainer, and like we're not getting back. That I almost quit the podcast over that movie. That was like, oh my god, I can't do this. Fuck.
Is it worse than Dagon, the other fish movie? I think we should go through this and do a fish movie rankings.
Gyo, Dagon, Padak. Oh, and they're all foreign too.
All the mermaid sagas.
Yeah, yeah.
They even eat mermaid flesh in those.
Yeah, they do. Okay, I'd rather watch American Werewolf in Paris. I'd rather watch Blade. Evil Dead, I don't know.
Some fish just try to ice skate uphill.
Okay, I'm breaking up the Evil Deads. It's my new 124, below Evil Dead and above The Evil Dead. Sure. The Evil Deads are broken up. Okay. And again, if you want to check out our rankings, just check out the link in the show notes or the description on the video. Follow the link to our Google Drive, and you can check out how we rank all the books and movies and stuff that we consume. Okay, cool.
Cool.
All right, my homework is one word. Why?
Oh, why what?
Why? Just why?
I'm not quite sure what I thought your reaction would be.
My reaction would be we should have watched Scream.
Normally I'd say there's always next year. But...
Yeah. I mean, we're still going to do bonus episodes.
Yeah, just here and there.
Yeah.
We don't have to marathon them all in a week.
No. Okay, for further reading, nothing. Like, I mean, honestly, like, if you like Padak, what do you... I have no recommendations.
The Mermaid Saga movies, because that's about eating fish flesh.
And Gyo and Dagon and...
Jaws.
I don't know, what about the Japanese Shadows over Innsmouth? I watched like 30 seconds of that, and I was like...
Were you done?
Yeah, like the lady walks down the street and she turns around and there's a man with shark teeth, and I'm like, done!
It's, I think that movie's interesting as, like, just from, like, a history perspective, but I wouldn't recommend people watch it.
Yeah.
You have to be really obsessed with that story specifically, like me, to get through it.
Alright, so, yeah, that's it. That's Padak. That's the stupid fish movie that I want to eat sushi. But instead I won't.
I am so hungry right now.
I am hungry for the support of our
patrons. Yeah.
Thank you to Abigail, the first breaker of chains, mother of dragons, and
Logan,
the full metal patron, and Ben, the fourth patron of hope, and Mia the fifth, the rainmaker.
She makes it rain, yo.
Oh, and Sierra the sixth, the Keyblade patron. And thank you to Horsemen Comics and Gaming, which you can visit at the Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia, the Mall at Robinson in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You can shop online at fourhorsemen.tcgplayerpro.com. And if you make it into the store, say hello to the proprietor, Ronald III, Grampus of Christmas, who I would only ever rewatch this movie if I could do it with Ron, because I'm pretty sure he would throw up.
We need to convince him to start a podcast so we can subscribe to his Patreon tier and send the movie to him.
Yep. You have to watch this.
Well, oh my god, my Facebook is listening to us.
We need to get rid of these spy computers that we carry around with us all over the place. But this one helps me catch Pokemon, so what are you gonna do? Alright, well, thanks for making me watch Padak.
You're welcome.
And recording with me tonight, I guess.
I'm happy that we got a decent amount of recording done.
Yeah, we did a lot. All right, thank you to our patrons. Stay tuned for our socials and stay scary. Oh,
Stay scary.
I gotta hit stop now.
You gotta hit stop.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher, and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the horrorofbabylonpodcast@gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/thehorrorofbabylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, and all other major podcast apps. Stay scary.